You're not seeing things that you'd never see my face again on your YouTube screen, YouTube app, whatever you're watching YouTube on these days. To be honest, I never really thought you'd see my face on here either, but here we are. There are just some videos, reviews, content that belongs on this platform, okay? You can't do the content that I'm about to do in a 1 minute and 30-second reel or a TikTok. You just can't. I'm going to share with you guys a handbag purchase. I'm very on the fence about this. It's one of those bags that I have had on my brain for weeks, and today was the first day that I could make the trip. I had to drive an hour and an hour back because there is no nice stores near me. So this is the first day that I had time. I tried to look up some reviews on YouTube. I even tried to look on TikTok. This bag is not a popular bag, which makes me love it even more. There's a situation, okay? And I'll explain throughout the video. I'm making this video to add one to the mix in case you're eyeing this bag and want a review of the bag, but also selfishly, I don't know if I want to keep this bag. And I know there's this amazing community of handbag lovers and an amazing community of honest individuals that will shoot me straight and help me decide if I'm keeping this bag or not, because I'm truly on the fence. I've never felt this way about a handbag. I usually, when I get the bee in the bonnet and I'm obsessing over a handbag, I'm like, box checked. I get it. I'm like, okay, I can breathe again. And I'm so happy. I've never been regretful. I've never been remorseful over a handbag purchase. I've always either gone into it wanting it, seeing it in person, and I'm like, no, or I come home with it. And I've never regretted my decision either way. This is the first for me. This is the first for me, and I don't know what to do. So I'm hoping y'all can help me, and I'm also hoping this helps if you're eyeing the bag. So wait, can we just take a minute? Can I show you the bag that I brought today since we're on the handbag topic? I know y'all remember this bag from Miu Miu, Lollipop 26, Buy Now Blog Later. She was toting this around and I was like, I need that bag. And I went out and bought it. And now the value of this bag has sadly decreased, but I love this bag. It's like the most amazing dusty rose color. And when I bought this shirt on Amazon, I was like, I have the perfect bag to wear. And I just love her. Not worth very much these days, but I don't care because I just love her. Let's do it, shall we? Let's do it, shall we? This is my first purchase ever from Ferragamo. It's a beautiful red bag with a black ribbon, straps, bag. Hold on. They asked if I wanted the box and I was like, no, thank you. We're just gonna go straight out of the dust bag. And here she is. Okay, let me just show you the bag. I already opened it because I showed Addie. You probably already know which one it is, but do you know what color? Probably not. Or maybe you do. This is, oops, she's backwards. This is the Hug bag. And she's beautiful. There is no denying this is a beautiful bag, and it gets its name from this little thing, these little clasps here, because essentially it's like a hug around the bag. And then it opens up to be a pretty large, hold on, the way that it's packaged is interesting. So the strap, okay, here we go. The strap is kind of holding it together. So this is the bag, and it essentially opens up to be, there is a little toggle here that keeps it more secure. It's not completely like zipped, but keeps it closed. It does come with a crossbody strap, and there's also this little guy. My God. Okay, here we go, like 4 hours later. It's still the tape, it's the tape. Okay. I don't want to rip it. You get the point. Here. Okay. It has this little little ring, okay? So there's that little added detail. And I love, well, we'll get into the detail in a second, but essentially it opens up and it's leather lined, which I find is not the case with a lot of leather handbags. It's usually lined with something else, but this is all pure leather. And the leather is amazing. I believe this is calfskin leather. So let me give you the backstory. So I saw this bag online. I forget on who. Started doing a deep dive because I didn't know what the bag was. I'm not familiar with Ferragamo. We're definitely not on my bingo card for 2024 or ever. But here we are. And I started obsessing over it, started looking at the bag, and fell in love with it. There's 3 sizes. There's a mini. There is a small. I have the small. And then there's one that they call a medium, but I would say it's a large. It's a big mama. Lots of different colors. They also now just introduced a new style where it's the same silhouette, but it's one shoulder strap. It's one top strap with a crossbody. Fell in love with the silhouette of the bag. And honestly, for the longest of my journey on handbags, my handbag journey, I've always yearned for and wanted a more structured bag. When I say structured, like, I guess you would, in my mind, like a work bag, like a work tote. Wanted more of like a structured, classic silhouette of a bag. Not one that's slouchy, not one that's quilted, not one that's like, could be a dinner bag. Like I wanted like a structured bag. So I've always kind of eyed them here and there. And there's different ones that have caught my eye over the years, but nothing really that made me want to pull the trigger. Just never really was like, that's the one. Until I saw this one and I was like, that's the structured bag. I love it because I can fit a ton of stuff, mainly like all my other little pouches, because I have a lot of like little pouches that I keep stuff in, and it's the size too. So I love a small bag. I love a mini size bag, and truthfully, now that my kids are a little bit older, out of diapers, not needing snacks every 2 seconds, my bag is really for me, my stuff. And occasionally on the sports weekends, I definitely have a tote to carry all their shit. But for me, day to day, I wanted a bag that fits all my stuff, that I could keep all of my, all of my wallets, all of my pouches, that I'm not just having to take one little thing in my small little bag. Like I wanted just a main everyday bag, one that I could take to dinner, one that I could take to a school event, one that I could take out with my girlfriends, but just one that would fit all my other little bags. So this really, their website, when I started looking at it, they had this bag in a beautiful, like Bordeaux. I'm going to call it like burgundy, like a chocolatey brown burgundy. And I fell in love and I was like, that's it. That's the bag. But the size that it comes in, it only comes in the medium size. I went into the store today because I wanted to see the color, but kind of full on knowing that it probably wasn't going to come home with me, because while I do love a structured bag that could fit, I don't think I need anything larger than this. I have a Neverfull. I have the Dior book tote. Okay, I didn't want the larger one. I love that color though. So then I was like, maybe I'll get this small, but in black, because I don't really have, I have, Chanel's flat bags, but nothing like structured. Maybe I'll just get black. It's classic. I'll have it forever. It'll always be in style. The small size in the black, which is the size that I wanted, only is available with a lipstick red interior, which the idea of it and the pictures online, I loved. I loved it because I love that shade of red. It's like the Ferragamo red, like the red of the bag. But when I got into the store and I was playing with that one in front of the mirror, like it's all I saw. I didn't see like a black bag. I saw a black and red bag because the interior is just it's an open bag, so it's peeking out, and it was just bothering me. Like if I wanted a black bag, I want a black bag. And he said at one point, the sales associate said at one point they did have that bag black on black. Now the black mini was black on black, but the mini is no different in size from all of the other ones that I have. And I really just wanted to do something a little bit different this time around. So I immediately was like, no to the mini. I love that bag. If I didn't have the collection of smaller mini bags that I have, I probably would have came home with that one. But if I'm going with a structured bag, I wanted it to be like the size that I wanted. So that was a no. And then the bag with the red interior, that was a no for me too, because I didn't want a black bag with, red interior, like red on a Damier Speedy, the red interior. Nobody knows it's red unless you're like in the bag, It's not a part of the bag. The Ferragamo small with the red interior, it's a part of the bag. It bothered me. So I put that aside. So then I was back to square one, and they had this bag in a chocolate, they call it a fancy name. It's essentially an espresso brown. And I love the leather on that one. It's a little bit more pebbled. And I love the idea of a chocolate brown bag, but it was a very cool tone chocolate. It was a very cool tone brown. And the inside really bothered me because, again, you're seeing the inside. When the bag is just sitting, you're seeing the inside. And the inside was, dare I say, like a pukey. And I love, you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, like I have pukey colored sweaters and I love like the vomit color. But on this bag mixed with the cool tone brown, it bothered me. It wasn't a cute pukey. It was just puke. It didn't look nice. But the more I was in the bag and with it on me in front of the mirror, it was growing on me. And I was like, I like the idea of because it almost looks black. And it's still a color and a shade that I could wear every day all season long. And it's classic and beautiful. And like I said, I love the leather. This is a different leather. This is like a smooth leather. The one on the brown was more like a pebbled, softer. I feel like I could have bit a little bit harder on that one, like a little bit more durable. It's almost like, I feel like this is like the lambskin on a Chanel bag. Whereas like I like the caviar because I could just not have to worry or be as careful. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do the brown. I'll get a lot of use out of it. It's classic. I love the silhouette of it. It's still that structured bag. And then he went off into the back to get me a new one, not to have the floor sample. But I wasn't like, yay. I was excited. I was happy, but I wasn't like, you know, how you want to be when you're spending that much and buying a bag. So I was just like looking around. And then I saw this one on an end, like, it was in the wall. Like I would not have seen it if I didn't circle the store waiting for him. And this is just the classic, this is bothering me. This is the classic like saddle brown that I would have, if I could only have one color handbag in my collection, it would be this one, even over black. This is like the Hermes gold. To me, this kind of reminds me of Hermes too, but like it's not as known and popular, which I love. Anyway, I love this color. The straps also are different. They're a little bit more like woven. The detail on it is really pretty. And there's some like black, the opposite side of the saddle is black. So you get that like two-tone. And that's what this matches to the bottom of this, on the sides of this. So I was like, wait, hold the phone. I think I want this one instead. And I was even talking to another SA and she was like, yes, hands down. Go with this one. Initially on this bag, the drop handle bothered me. It's a little large for me. I typically like something a little bit shorter, but it was growing on me. Again, it wasn't like I wasn't gung-ho excited about the drop, but then I was like, okay, I can make it work. Like obviously it fits in the crook of my arm and I don't typically like this much space, but it wasn't a deal breaker for me. So then he brings this bag out and the handles, they're like deformed. And he was like, oh yeah, they're leather. They're going to just like fall right back into place like over time. But the display, the bag on display, it was like perfectly, you know, he's like, it was just the way that it was in the box. It was sitting in the box. But like, again, like this bothers me. And maybe it will go back and maybe I could, you know, hang it to get it back. But I spent a lot on this bag. I don't want to have to do anything. I want it to be perfect and look perfect. To me, this looks cheap and like ugly, quite frankly. And I don't know, this is where I need your help. Am I being like too over the top? Should this not be a deal breaker for me? Because it's really bothering me. And granted, like when I'm carrying it, you know, they'll straighten out. They're not crooked. They're not going to look bad. But when it's just sitting, it's just sad looking. And it really bothers me. I compromised. I feel like I'm settling a little. Because I really wanted that burgundy color. Or I would have really liked the brown if it was a warmer brown. Because I love that pebbled leather. What do you think? Oh, and I didn't tell you the other thing that I kept thinking. I need to grab. Hold on. Then I kept thinking of this bag. I know you all remember this bag. This is the Henry Bendel brunch tote. I think it cost me a whopping 300 bucks, and it's still one of my very favorite handbags in my collection. I love this bag so freaking much. Similar color, very similar color. And this is, you know, quite a structured bag. So then I was just like, do I just bust her out again and use her all fall and, you know, use this as my structured bag? I like the handle drop. You see what I mean? It's like the perfect, even on the crook of my arm. Look at the difference. It's just, okay. I just kept thinking of her. I was like, this was a 10th of what this one cost. And I'm just not sold. What do you guys think? Do I keep her? I mean, I will definitely get use out of this. I love this color. It goes with everything. I mean, I could maybe, I even asked the sales associate, I was like, what if I wet them? Like, what if I wet them and like he was like, I wouldn't recommend that. But it bothers me. So this is where I need y'all's help. I feel like I know what you guys are going to say. Maybe I just need to hear it from more than my brain. Oh, and I didn't tell you, there is feet on the bottom. The mini did not have feet. The medium and the small have feet, which are also beautiful, the detail of them. I mean, it's stunning. I don't know, guys. I just keep going back and I'm like, am I settling? Like, for that amount of money, could I go get another one that I like even more? I just felt like I was striking out. Like, I wanted that burgundy, but I didn't want the large size. Then I was like, okay, maybe I'll go for the brown, but it's cool tone. And the inside is like, And then I'm like, okay, I finally settled on this one. And the handles are wonky. I don't want to settle, you know, for this much money. So I guess if you know of another bag that maybe I don't know about, let me know if I'm missing it, because I really do still want like a structured bag, one that is large enough to fit all my shit and all my smaller pouches, but not one that's like massive. Like the medium size, I feel like would have been a great size if I was still working in an office, carrying a laptop to work every day, a lot of like work stuff. But for me, for every day, it was just too big. And honestly, it looked awkward on me because I feel like I have a more petite frame and that bag was just swallowing me up. So the small is definitely the more perfect size. And I even asked the SA if they knew if the burgundy was going to be coming out in the smaller size. And he looked ahead and he was like, I don't see it. And he also said he made mention that the only size that color was released in the US. So now I'm wondering, is that color available elsewhere, overseas, internationally, in the small size? So if you guys know that too, I feel like I need to reach out to some of my SAs because I know that they source bags like in different countries. Because if I know that hug bag in the small, in the burgundy Bordeaux is available somewhere else, like I will track it down. So I hope this is helpful if you're considering the bag. The bag is beautiful. If you can get it in the color combo and the size that you want, the exact color and the exact size, 100% love it. 10 out of 10 recommend. I just feel like I am settling and the handles are bothering me. Like maybe I would feel differently if I was showing you this bag and they were like perfectly perfect, but also it goes to my point of them just being very large. Like there was other bags in the Ferragamo store that were just like, the drops were like, who carries that? I think it's so weird. So I feel like maybe if the handles were a little shorter and like perfectly straight, I would feel differently. But it was just, I felt like I was strike out. And then finally when I decided on the bag, it's not perfect. I feel like I know my answer, but let me know. And like I said, if there's another bag that I don't have on my radar that you think might check my boxes of like a structured, good size, not as large drop, let me know that too. Okay. Thank you. I don't know if you'll see me again on YouTube, but definitely make sure you're following me on Instagram because I show up there every day 300 times a day. Okay, bye.